Says I'm live. All righty. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for July 22nd. Let me get to the top of my material here. July 22nd is the 203rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 204th in leap years, with 162 days remaining to the end of the year. And it looks like we have for sure and true finally gone through all horse words I could find. Today's word is Prince Charming. Prince Charming is a noun that means a suitor who fulfills the expectations of his beloved. This comes to us after the fairy tale hero of many stories, such as Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella. Earliest documented use of the term Prince Charming is 1850. And with that, we're going to start with July 22nd, 1342, when I was gathering this research, it was listed as the largest recorded flood in Central Europe, and it took place on around the feast day of St. Mary Magdalene. But they've been having some serious flooding there lately, just incredible, devastating flooding there. So I don't know if it's once this current flooding is all done, this one might be worse. It's pretty bad. We'll see. The one in 1342, though, is known as St. Mary Magdalene's flood, since it occurred around the feast day of St. Mary Magdalene. There were also some fierce floods in 2002, and the water levels of the 1342 flood exceeded those of the 2002 European floods. They got more than half the mean yearly rainfall in less than a week's time. I'm talking about the 1342 flood now. And as of the time that I gathered this information, it was the worst such event on record for Central Europe. We'll see how that goes once this year's flooding settles out. I wish them the best. On July 22nd, 1587, a second group of English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island off North Carolina to reestablish the deserted colony. On July 22nd, 1598, William Shakespeare's play, The Merchant of Venice, was entered into the Stationer's Register. The Stationer's Register was a record book maintained by a trade guild that had a royal charter to regulate various professions associated with the publishing industry. Booksellers could pay a fee for the right to publish a given work, for example, like that day's version of copyright. On July 22nd, 1686, Albany, New York was formally chartered as a municipality by the Governor Thomas Dongan, who was New York governor at that time. Alexander Mackenzie reached the Pacific Ocean on July 22nd, 1793, becoming the first recorded human to complete a transcontinental crossing of North America. On July 22nd, 1796, surveyors of the Connecticut Land Company named an area in Ohio Cleveland, after General Moses Cleveland, the superintendent of the surveying party. Interesting how so many places are named after people and so many people are named after places. This is the birthday of American artist Edward Hopper, born July 22nd, 1882. He was an American realist painter, particularly known for his oil paintings, although he did work in watercolors and etchings as well. He lived to the age of 84. This is the birthday of philanthropist, socialite, and Kennedy family member Rose Kennedy, born July 22nd, 1890. She was the mother of President John Kennedy and Senator Robert Kennedy, both of whom, by the way, were assassinated. Rose lived to the age of 102. After admiring the view from the top of Pikes Peak near Colorado Springs, Colorado, Catherine Lee Bates wrote America the Beautiful on July 22nd, 1893. I'd have to agree with her on that. This is the birthday of American psychiatrist and author Dr. Carl Menninger, born July 22nd, 1893. Born and died in Topeka, Kansas. He was a member of the Menninger family of psychiatrists. I guess it was the family business psychiatrists who founded the Menninger Foundation and the Menninger Clinic. Dr. Carl Menninger lived to the age of 96. This is the birthday of Amy Vanderbilt, born July 22nd, 1908. In 1952, she first published the best-selling book, Amy Vanderbilt's Complete Book of Etiquette. Later retitled simply Amy Vanderbilt's Etiquette, her book has been updated and is still in circulation. She lived to the age of 66. This is the birthday of politician Bob Dole, born July 22nd, 1923. He began his political career in 1951 and was active in politics for over 45 years. Still alive, Mr. Dole turns 98 in 2021. This is the birthday of fashion designer Oscar de la Renta, born July 22nd, 1932. He lived to the age of 82. Author Wiley Post returned to Floyd Bennett Field in New York City on July 22nd, 1933, completing the first solo flight around the world in 7 days, 18 hours, and 49 minutes. This is the birthday of actress Louise Fletcher, born July 22nd, 1934. Perhaps best known as Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, she has enjoyed an extensive career in television and movies. I also remember her as Win Adami, or Kai Wynn, as she was called on the show Star Trek Deep Space Nine. This was during the 1990s. Still alive, Louise Fletcher turns 87 in 2021. This is the birthday of game show host and producer Alex Trebek, born July 22nd, 1940. This beloved game show host lost a fierce battle with cancer in November of 2020, passing away at the age of 80. By the way, I haven't read it yet, but he did publish a memoir last year. It's called The Answer Is Reflections on My Life, which sounds interesting. Happy birthday and rest in peace, Alex Trebek. On July 22nd, 1942, the United States government began compulsory civilian gasoline rationing due to wartime demands. This is the birthday of Japanese author Masaru Emoto, born July 22nd, 1943. He's known for his studies on human consciousness and the molecular structure of water. You can find out lots more about that in his 2004 book, The Hidden Messages in Water. Interesting work. Masaru Emoto lived to the age of 71. What an interesting day for birthdays. This is the birthday of American actor, director, and producer Danny Glover, born July 22nd, 1946. He's acted in many movies. You might remember him from the Lethal Weapon film series. Still alive, Danny Glover turns 75 in 2021. Just making sure I've got good signal here. All righty. This is the birthday of American singer, songwriter, and drummer Don Henley, born July 22nd, 1947. He's a founding member of the Eagles and turns 74 in 2021. This is the birthday of a woman named Susan Eloise Hinton, born July 22nd, 1948. You may have heard of her as S.E. Hinton, best known for her young adult novels set in Oklahoma, particularly one called The Outsiders, which was published in 1967. She wrote that when she was in high school. The Outsiders has sold more than 14 million copies and still sells more than 500,000 copies a year. The Outsiders. Several of her works have been adapted for stage and screen, including The Outsiders, of course. And she still lives in Tulsa. She's an introvert, though, so don't bug her. Ms. Hinton turned 73 in 2021. Fearing extradition to the United States, Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar escaped from his luxury prison near Medellin on July 22nd, 1992. This is the birthday of singer and actress Selena Gomez, born July 22nd, 1992. She's had a very busy showbiz career, and I know I've watched her on TV with my granddaughters some years ago. Ms. Gomez has struggled with a variety of physical and mental health issues in the last few years, and I certainly wish her the very best. Selena Gomez turns 29 in 2021. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Let's see here, what else? We don't have pictures or music in the lives, so I won't mention that this time. There's a little bit more blah, blah, blah. There's a link in the show notes to a thing called the Day One Journaling app. As far as I know, it's only available on Apple devices. I don't know if they have it available on other devices or not, but it's the app that I use to compile and compose my notes for this day in history, and this is not a sponsored mention at all. It's just an app that I use. It's very helpful. All righty, I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.